So hello everyone, myself Kartikey, and today's session we will discuss class 9 social science history part. So this is your chapter number first, the French Revolution. So this is your second part, first part link in description. So question number F, short answer type question. So first one, why was Bastille hated by the people? So answer, Bastille was hated by the people as it stood for the despotic power of the king. Next question, question number 2. Why was the French government forced to increase taxes? So answer, the French government had to meet its regular expenses such as cost of maintaining an army, the court, running government offices and universities. Hence it increased taxes. Next question, question number 3. What was the old regime? So answer, the term old regime is usually used to describe the society and institutions of French before 1789. Next question, question number 4. How was French society divided before the revolution? So answer, French society divided into 3 states. First state members were clergy, in second state members were nobility, in third state members were businessmen, merchants, court officials, lawyers, peasants, artisans, etc. Next question, question number 5. Who was Mirabeau? So answer, Mirabeau was born in a noble family but was convinced of the need to do away with a society of feudal privileges. He brought out a general and delivered powerful speeches to the crowd assembled at Versailles. Next question, question number 6. What was the Directory? So answer, the Directory was an executive made up of 5 members. This was meant as a safeguard against the concentration of power in one man as under the Jacobins. Next question, question number 7. What was the subsistence crisis? Why did it occur in France during the old regime? So answer, the population of France was on the rise. It rose from 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789. This led to increase the demand for food. Grains could not keep pace with the demand and price of bread, which was the staple diet of the people. The wages also did not keep pace with the rise in the prices. The gap between the rich and poor widened. This led to the subsistence crisis. Next question, question number 8. What was the system of voting in States General? What change did the third state want in the system? So answer, voting in states in the past had been conducted according to the principle that each state had one vote member of the third state, demanding that voting must now be conducted by the assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote. This was according to the democratic principle put forward by philosophers like Rousseau in his book The Social Contract. Next question, question number 9. What was the importance of the Declaration of Right of Man and Citizen? So answer, the document Declaration of Right of Man and Citizen hid the prevailing European system, which was based on privileges. It declared faith in equality, liberty and fraternity. It was regarded as gospel of modern times. Next question, question number 10. Describe the role of women in French Revolution. So answer, women were active participants in the events related to French Revolution of 1789. Most of the women of the third estate had to work for a living as seamstresses, flower sellers, vegetable and fruit sellers. They lead a hard life and were paid low wages. So to voice their interests, they began their own newspapers and political clubs and put forward their political and economic demands. Next question, question number 11. Name 3 famous writers and philosophers who influenced the French Revolution. What were their ideas? So first, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, a French philosopher. His main idea was man is naturally good and that society of the civilization makes man anxious and unhappy. Second, Montesquieu. He challenged the theory of divine right of the king and instituted the kind of government that is best suited to the people and outlined the principles of constitutional monarchy. Next, third, Voltaire. famous French writer who exposed the evil prevailing in the church and administration. Next question, question number 12. The French Revolution opened the eyes of the world to a profound social revolution. It marked the beginning for the first time in the history of active and institutionalized mass participants in the government. The revolution led to many isms explained. So first one, nationalism. Nationalism led to many new nations emerging in Europe, Asia and Africa. A nation now no longer was the king's territory and his subjects. Rather it now comprised the citizen who inhabited a common territory, possessed a voice in their common government and were conscious of their common heritage and their common interests. Next, second, liberalism. The main feature of this was emancipation of the individual from class, corporate and government restraint. The Declaration of Right of Man and Citizen asserted the liberty of the individual, that no authority could rule over the individuals in an arbitrary manner was the message given. The declaration states that all men are to be treated as equal before the law and that humanity implied fraternity among the different people. The Declaration of Right of Man and Citizen inspired and guided many newly independent nations to frame their constitution based on similar principles. Next, third, socialism. Liberalism emphasizes the individual and his or her rights. Socialism, on the other hand, emphasizes the community and its collective welfare. This was also a result of the work of Sans Culottes during the revolution. It promoted a society designed to promote collective well-being rather than individual profit. So next question, question number G, long answer type question. So first one, the French philosophers of the 18th century greatly influenced the people and it led to the French Revolution. Comment. So answer, philosophers such as Montesquieu and Rousseau put forward idea envisaging a society based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all. In his two treatises of the government, John Locke sought to refute the doctrine of divine and absolute right of the monarch. Rousseau carried the idea forward, proposing a form of government based on social contract between the people and their representatives. In the spirit of law, Montesquieu proposed a division of power within the government between the legislature, executive and judiciary. This form of government was put into force in USA. It was an important example of the political thinkers in France. So next question, question number 2. Describe the reason of terror and the role played by Robespierre in it. So answer, the period from 1793 to 1794 is referred to as the reign of terror. Robespierre, the leader of the Jacobins, followed a policy of severe control and punishment. All those his enemies of the Republic, ex-noble, clergy, political opponents, were arrested, tried and guillotined. If found guilty, he issued laws placing a maximum ceiling on the wages and prices. Meat and bread were rationed. Use of expensive white flour was forbidden. Robespierre followed his policy so relentlessly that even his support began to demand moderation. Finally, he was convicted, arrested and guillotined in July 1794. So next question, question number 3. What did the following symbols convey in the Declaration of Rights? So first one, broken chain. Second, bundle of rods or faces. Third, eye within a triangle radiating light. And fourth, scepter. And fifth, snake biting its tail to form a ring. 6, red Phrygian cap. And 7, blue, white, red. And 8, winged woman. So first one, broken chain. Chain were used to fetter slaves. A broken chain stands to act of becoming free. Second, bundle of rods and faces. One rod can be easily broken, but not an entire bundle. Strength lies in unity. Third, eye within triangle radiating light. The all-seeing eye stands for knowledge. The rays of the sun will get rid of the clouds of ignorance. Fourth, scepter, the symbol of royal power. Fifth, snake biting its tail to form a ring, symbol of eternity. A ring has neither a beginning nor an end. Sixth, red Frisian cap, cap worn by a slave upon becoming free. Seventh, blue-white rag, the national color of the France. 8. Winged woman, personification of the law. 9. Law tablet, the law is the same for all and all equal before it. Next question, question number 4. Why is the period from 1793 to 1794 in France referred to as a reign of terror? So answer, the period from 1793 to 1794 in is referred as the reason due to the following reason. So first one, Robespierre followed a policy of severe control and punishment. Second, all those whom he was as being enemies of the republic, such as nobles and clergy, members of the other parties who did not agree with his method, were arrested, imprisoned and tried by the court. Third, Robespierre was also found guilty and convicted by a court and sent to the guillotine. So next question, question number 5. How many classes were there in France in the 18th century? So answer, France society was divided into following state during the 18th century. So first one, the clergy or the first estate. The clergy in the France was quite wealthy and owned big estate or land holdings. It enjoyed many privileges and lived luxuriously. Second, the noble and the second estate. They were the big aristocrats and landlords who controlled all high-ranking administrative posts and owned large landholdings. They also had the monopoly over the wine shop, flour mills, etc. They had many privileges for hunting, shooting and fishing. They were exempted from taxes and were above the law. C. The commons and the third estate. They consisted of the peasants, workers, petty officials, lawyers, doctors and traders. All taxes were paid by the third estate, were forced to provide free labor to the privileged class. The small peasants had very little of their living. So next question, question number 6. What landmark decisions were taken by the National Assembly led by the third estate on 4th August 1789? So answer, first point, on the night of 4th August 1789, the National Assembly of France passed a decree abolishing the federal system of obligation. Second point, members of the clergy were forced to give up their privileges. Third point, titles were abolished and lands owned by the church were confiscated. Fourth point, as a result of the decree, the French government acquired assets worth 2 billion livres. So next question, question number 7. How did the France become a constitutional monarchy? So answer, the National Assembly of France completed the draft of the constitution in 1791. Its main object was to limit the powers of the monarch. Political powers, instead of being concentrated in the hands of one person, were now separated and assigned to different institutions, the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. This made France a constitutional monarchy. Now the king became a nominal head of the state like the king or queen of the Britain. So next, question number 8. Explain the role of women during the revolutionary years in France. So first point, most historical believe that from the very beginning women were active participants in the event related to the French Revolution in 1789. Second point, the French women hoped that their involvement would pressurize the revolutionary government to introduce measures to improve their lives. Third point, women's role in the society in general. Working women lead a very hard life because they had to work outside their homes as well as take care of their families. That is, they had to cook, fetch water, queue up for bread and look after their children. Fourth point, role of women in media and political parties. In order to discuss the voice their interests women being their own newspapers and political clubs. Women put several political and economic demands. For example, one of their demands was that the same political rights must be granted to all women that were enjoyed by men. So now we are moving to NCERT solution. So question number first, describe the circumstances leading to the outbreak of revolutionary protest in France. So answer, the outbreak of revolutionary protest in France was caused by a combination of factors such as economic crisis, social inequalities, the influence of Enlightenment ideas, the success of American Revolution, and weak leadership. The French society was divided into three states, with the common people bearing the burden of taxes, while the clergy and nobility enjoyed privilege. The idea of enlightenment challenged the traditional authority of the monarchy and called for a more democratic and just society. King Louis XVI was a weak leader who was unable to address the grievances of the people or implement reforms. All these factors contributed to a growing sense of frustration and anger among the people, which eventually erupted into a full-blown revolution in 1789. So next question, question number 2. Which group of French society benefited from the revolution? Which groups were forced to relinquish power? Which section of the society would have been disappointed with the outcome of the revolution? So first one, groups of French society which benefited from the revolution. People of the third estate benefited the most from the revolution. These groups include peasants, workers, petty officiers, lawyers, teachers, doctors, traders, etc. Formerly, they had to pay all the taxes and were humiliated both by the clergy and the nobles, but after the revolution they being to be treated equal with the upper section and the given political rights. Second point, groups which were forced to relinquish power. People belonging to the upper classes, the first estate and the second estate, which enjoy all the privileges, had to relinquish power. They were the clergy and the nobles. The special privileges of their higher section were abolished. Now French society was organized on the basis of social equality. The revolution also led to nationalization of the church property. Third point, section disappointed with the outcome of the revolution. Privileged classes, that is the clergy and the nobles, were disappointed with the outcome of the revolution because all privileges were taken away from them. Next question, question number 3. Describe the legacy of the France Revolution of the people of the world during the 19th and 20th century. So answer, the French Revolution not only affected France and changed its entire social and political system, it also had a lasting effect on the people of Europe in the 19th century. It inspired many countries in the Europe to overthrow their oppressive regime. The watchword of the French Revolution, such as liberty, equality and fraternity, rejected the coming of the new democratic and social order in the Europe and the world. The French Revolution inspired struggling nations in Asia and Africa, which were groaning under the oppression of colonialism. Many nations aspiring for liberty sought inspiration. The French Revolution put into practice the idea that sovereignty comes from the people from below or not from above. Next question, question number 4. Draw a list of democratic rights we enjoy today whose origin can be traced to the French Revolution. So answer, list of democratic rights we enjoy today. So first one, right to freedom. Second, right to equality. Third, right against exploitation. And fourth, right to freedom of religion. And fifth, cultural and education rights. And sixth, right to constitutional remedies. Right to freedom and right to equality and fraternity can be traced to the French Revolution. So next question, question number 5. Would you agree with the view that the message of universal rights was beset with contradiction? Explain. Yes, I agree with the view that the message universal rights was beset with the several contradictions. We can explain it by the following points. So first point, women were not given equal right as the men. Second point, the notions of equality and freedom emerged as the central idea of a new age, but in many countries they were reinterpreted and rethought in different ways. Most of the imperialistic power did not grant full freedom to the people of their colonies. Third point, all citizens did not have the right to vote. Only men above 25 years of the age who paid taxes equal to at least 3 years of their labor's wage were given the status of active citizen, that is, they were entitled to vote. To eligible as an elector and then as a member of the assembly, a man had to belong to the highest bracket of taxpayers. Fourth point, the tax of representing the people had been given to the rich only. So next question, question number 6. How would you explain the rise of Napoleon? So answer, the rise of Napoleon was a result of his military genius, political ambition, and the chaos and instability that followed the French Revolution. He was a successful general who won many battles and conquered territories which earned him the support of the people and the military. He also had a vision for a strong and centralized government which appealed to those who were tired of the instability and violence of the revolution. In 1799, he staged a coup and became the first consul of France, effectively seizing power. He then went to establish a new constitution, create a strong central government, and expand the French Empire through military conquests. Despite his success, his downfall came when he invaded Russia in 1812 and suffered a devastating defeat. He was eventually exiled to the island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. So finally this chapter was completed. So we will meet in next session. So thank you.